Hi there, I'm Angela Brown from the Sexy Thyroid Solution, and today I wanted to discuss with you my journey with hypothyroidism and what I did regarding weight loss, regarding symptoms, and even nutrition. First, I wanted to ask you if you could do me a favor and if you could subscribe to my channel. So you just hit the subscribe button, then you'll hit the little bell, and I will be putting a video out every single Thursday, so you will get a notification every Thursday that my video has been posted. So one thing that I want to really talk about that I feel like doesn't get discussed enough is that every single person's journey when it comes to hypothyroidism is completely different. You know, not everyone's journey is the same. So I will say that for me, it's been an up and down battle. It's been an up and down road. I've had really, really good times with managing the thyroid symptoms, and I've had really, really bad times with it as well. So I've been in the health industry for over 24 years. I started practicing as a physical therapist, and then I started getting into personal training, and then my FDN certification. So being in the health industry for quite a long time has given me a lot of insight and a lot of opportunity to be able to dive further into health issues, especially when they pertain to myself. So this is why I feel like I'm so passionate and so adamant about talking about my story as well, so people can understand how I manage my own symptoms, because it's not an easy venture to handle, and a lot of people feel like they just don't have the answers or they're alone in the journey. So first I want to talk about the weight loss aspect. So I will be the first to admit, you know, when you're battling hypothyroidism or just a slow thyroid, it's really easy to have a roller coaster of weight. It's going to go up and down very often. I will say I was diagnosed when I was 22. Since then, and I am now 43 years old, since then, my weight has fluctuated up and down more than 10 times. It always goes up and down quite often. And the reason is because, you know, when you're battling hypothyroidism, your body shifts in minerals, it shifts in, you know, your nutrition, nutrient deficiencies. So all of that stuff thrown in together, you know, when you're battling hypothyroidism, it's going to shift that as well. So it's no different than like your thyroid medication. You kind of get used to it, or, you know, just the dose isn't working anymore. Sometimes you need to go higher, sometimes you need to go lower. So you have to get your blood drawn pretty often, at least I do, so that you can kind of keep things even keel. So I continue to take thyroid medication. I am not off thyroid medication. I probably never will be off of it, but I have significantly lowered my dose by addressing my minerals. So that's one thing that I really emphasize in my practice is the hair tissue testing, because you look at minerals, and it's kind of one of those things that I personally found was a pretty big missing link when it came to hypothyroidism, because it really skewed how I absorbed my medication, how I responded to stress. So it was a really easy way for me to manage my symptoms, was by addressing my minerals. So for example, on my very first test, my calcium was really high and my potassium was really low. That's a really bad setup for hypothyroidism without having a hypothyroidism diagnosis. So when I had those things really skewed and I started addressing those, I actually had to lower my medication, because those two things assist with conversion of inactive T4 to active T3. So what I found was when I started addressing something very simple as minerals, it's really easy to address. It's really simple and it's very cheap. I could manage my symptoms so much easier. Now it's so much so that I can tell when things get off. I feel like I'm getting a little bit puffier, or I'm having some more fatigue, or maybe my hair is falling out a little bit. Things like that are hypothyroidism symptoms. I will go do another hair test, and sure enough, my calcium may have gone up a tiny bit, or my potassium bottomed out a little bit. I might have some metals showing up on my test, things like that that will slow the thyroid down. I'll start noticing that happening without even having had the test. So that's what's great when you start really honing in on your symptoms, and you know your body really well with it. You know when it's time to make a shift because the thyroid is just not quite there. So that's one of the really easy ways for me to manage my symptoms. As far as the nutrition aspect goes, that's a tricky one. So I personally cannot have dairy. I cannot have gluten. Sugar will even affect me, but gluten and dairy are the biggies. If I have those, my thyroid is going to be a train wreck, and it takes a while to recover from it. I generally do not recommend gluten at all when you're dealing with hypothyroidism, whether it is the Hashimoto's diagnosis or it's just you have a slow thyroid. I'm typically going to tell you to stay away from gluten because it just does not do well when the thyroid is slow. Even if you suspect that you have a slow metabolism, you want to stay away from gluten. It's just something that I do across the board for anybody that comes to me. And we're dealing with slow metabolism with most of them that come to me, they are. So I'm going to take that out for sure. So that's one way. And if I know I'm going to be at an event, something's coming up that I'm like pretty sure I'm going to have that bite of cake or piece of cake, I will kind of prepare for that. So I will take supplements that will help keep my immune system strong in my gut and keep my gut healthier so that when I do have it, it won't be as bad that it will set me back for 4 weeks. It'll set me back maybe for a week or a few days. So that's another really good way that you can kind of hone in on how you manage your thyroid symptoms and how you manage what you do with your thyroid, just by your nutrition and your eating. The weight loss aspect, again, it's going to go up and down. So you can't, I really had to hone in and accept that my weight was just going to go up and down. First of all, I'm a female. So females' weight goes up and down all the time because of our cycles and things like that. We kind of got screwed with that. So that's going to fluctuate anyways. And then if you have a slow thyroid, it's really going to be pretty easy to fluctuate. So as much as it sucks, and I hate having to tell people that, just accept it that it is going to fluctuate. It does make life a little easier when you go that road and you just say, you know what, I do need to own it, that this is just the way that it is. But the good news is a lot of times it's not a permanent thing. Your weight may go up a little bit because you did eat something that was off, or you went through some stress. You had something that had a ton of calcium in it and it didn't sit well. Things like that, that can kind of make the thyroid kind of slow down. So it's temporary. You know your body, how your body responds, and you will be able to get that weight back off. So don't get hung up on the weight. Don't get hung up on the scale. Don't get hung up on that, oh my God, I'm up 10 pounds. It's time to make a shift. I do it all the time. I constantly have to shift what I'm doing. It's kind of like my workouts. I can't do the same thing over and over and over. My body gets used to it. It's the same thing with the thyroid. I can't do the same thing over and over and over because my body gets kind of used to it. So if I'm taking the exact same supplements all the dang time, my body even gets used to that. So sometimes I have to shift the brand. Sometimes I have to shift the dosage, stuff like that. The thing that I stay consistent with no matter what is the medication. But again, that's because the doctor's prescribing that for me. And then if I notice some symptoms are changing for the worse or for the better, then I can adjust the medication via the doctor accordingly. But the biggie is if I'm having, symptoms coming back and I don't know what to do, my first go-to is I'm going to do a hair test because that's usually what's off. But then I have to look at, have I been eating something that had gluten in it? Because that's another one that I see. So I hope these tips help you. And have you ever dealt with this? Has there ever been a time where you dealt with like, oh my gosh, my thyroid just went a little nuts. What did I do? Leave me a comment. Let me know if that happened to you and what you did to manage that. If you are interested and you want thyroid tips sent to your mailbox with a notification every single Thursday, you just need to subscribe to my channel, hit the subscribe button and the little bell, and you will get the notification with the message that I have my new video up on Thursdays. And let me know what you thought of this video. Give me a like, give me a comment below, let me know what you think, and we will be talking soon. The other thing is I have my free guide up still too. So if you want to go check out my free guide for the tips on hyperthyroidism, you can grab my free guide. The link is below as well. So hope you guys have a great day. Bye.